one question at some point: where on earth are my clients hiding? Sarah here, aka the Business Fixer. So I know that most of you, I would hope, you're showing up on social media, you're hopefully posting your offers. You might even do the odd ad, and the inbox may ping, the phone may ring, but too often it is the wrong people. They're the tire kickers, the bargain hunters, or even worse, you get ghosted. You get the complete silence. And it's easily enough to make you wonder if those so-called ideal clients that I'm always banging on about actually even exist, or if they are all just conspiring together to avoid you. But here's the truth: your clients aren't actually hiding. They are out there, and they are searching, and they are scrolling, and they are asking for recommendations every single day. The problem is that it's more than likely that you are potentially invisible to them, because you are not showing up in the space, in the places that they spend their time. And if you're not there, how can they find you? Okay. So let me just tell you a little story about exactly how this plays out. Okay. So my lovely nail lady recently retired, and she's been doing my nails for 15 years. And honestly, and if you're watching this, I hate to say it, but I was absolutely devastated, because she became more than just my nail lady. She knew all of the tough points in what I'd been through. She'd been there through all of things like my marriage, when I got married, when I got divorced, when I had the law firm, when I started this business. So she knows a lot about my life, and she became a friend. And I'm not ashamed to say I had a little bit of a sulk about it, and because I was upset. But and when somebody's been a part of your routine, your life for that long, it can feel like a bit of a small breakup. But sulking wasn't ultimately going to fix the problem. It really wasn't. So my nails were not going to do themselves. I am useless at that sort of thing. That is not my strength in any way, shape or form. So what did I do? Where did I go? My first stop was Google. So I typed in nail salon near me, clicked through a few websites. Some places didn't even have websites. They were just on the Google business profile. I thought, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a wander along my local high street, sort of peering into the shops, a bit like, you know, that when you were that teenager hunting for your first Saturday job. Well, finally, I then turned to Facebook groups, the modern day marketplace. And within minutes, I had a string of recommendations from basically people that had used local businesses before, and I could trust their recommendations. And this little journey is exactly how people find businesses now. They Google, they walk into a town, although these days the town high street, you've got plenty of nail salons, you've got plenty of barbers, but certain other types of shops, they seem to be disappearing. But that's a different topic. You know, and they will scroll through social media, they will ask for recommendations in groups, which brings me to the real question. Are you in the places your ideal clients are actually looking? Because if you're not, it's no wonder you are struggling to be seen, okay? The clients aren't hiding, you're just not where they are. So ultimately, when people want a solution, they go to the platforms that they feel natural to them. So for some, it might be Google. For others, it might be Facebook groups. Other places could be watching Instagram Reels or LinkedIn, even binge watch TikTok videos at midnight. Others might head straight to YouTube for step-by-step guides. To find your clients is not shouting louder, It's about posting more often or pushing harder. It's about showing up in the right places consistently with a message that resonates. Now, let's explore the platforms where your clients are most likely to be congregating and how you can use each one effectively. So, let's start with Google and SEO being your first port of call. Think about the last time you needed a service quickly. Where did you look first? For most people, it's Google. Whether it's an accountant near me, a personal trainer in Essex, best CRM software, Google is where the intent lives. Now, this is what makes search so powerful, because people who come via Google are often your warmest leads, because they are already looking for a solution. They're not aimlessly scrolling, they are searching with purpose. So how do you make sure you are visible? Start with the basics, okay? Optimize your website. Make sure you've got a blinking website in the first place, right? And it isn't these days just about being a brochure. There's a lot more to having a website in the first place. So optimize your website with the words your clients are actually going to search. Don't use industry jargon, but phrases like business performance coach or marketing consultant near me, using phrases that people are actually going to search so your website comes up. Now, something here that's really quite an important part that I'm just going to add in is AI now is really starting to impact search. So AI is coming up in Google, and now in SEO terms, there's two types. You've got your traditional SEO, which is, you know, when you're doing your search terms, but now it's also things like AI, where if you are creating valuable content like blog content, what you're then going to do is, if you notice at the top of Google, there's usually an AI response, and that's coming from places that are on your website where you're giving value, and that data is being pulled by places like Claude, ChatGPT, you know, all of these AI tools. So you need to make sure that your websites have got huge amounts of valuable content that your ideal clients can binge. Okay, so this is a really important part. You also need to think about claiming and completing your Google business profile, because even if you don't have a website, and I would always recommend you have a website, it's free and it gets you on maps. And it's often the first thing people click, because the thing is, with when you're doing Google searches, there are a couple of different places in terms of how you come up. So you'll notice at the top now you've got things like the AI overview, but you'll also have sponsored ads. So that's Google ads. I'm not talking about that at this moment in time. But then what you have underneath that is the organic search results. So you want to be hitting in there. And that's why you need to optimize your page or your website so that you then can't start to get ranked, right? Then you've got the Google business profile, which is what will then come up on the side, which helps you then sort of come up on the map, which is another place. And it's often, in my experience, it's easier to come up on the map rather than in the main search results. Okay. Also, encourage your clients to leave reviews. So social proof builds trust faster than any clever copy. Okay, and that's where, using again the Google business profile, they can put Google reviews. You can use things like Trustpilot, etc. SEO, I know that SEO can feel daunting, right? But even the smallest of tweaks can make the big difference. Next, Facebook groups. And I'm not just talking about Facebook pages. Facebook pages are also relevant, although they aren't necessarily taking so much of a, they're not being so predominant at the moment, but you still need to have a Facebook page because that helps build credibility. So, for example, most people, when they set up a Facebook page, they post once or twice and then they wonder why nothing happens. And the truth is, organic reach on business pages, as I said, has been shrinking for years. But Facebook groups, this is where conversations are happening, right? And there are two types of groups to focus on. There's the first, local recommendation groups. And these are the modern day equivalent of asking your neighbour over the fence. People trust them. And if you're visible there, you'll then get tagged in for recommendations. The second are niche groups. So these are tied to your industry or your audience. These are gold mines for connecting with people who already care about what you offer. And the trick here, and this is really, really important, is to contribute without selling, right? Be helpful, answer questions, share advice, become the person that people think of when a problem arises in your specific niche. Do that consistently and members will start tagging you without you even asking. And whether you do or do not march in and shout, and whatever you do, do not go in and march in and shout, buy from me. That is the equivalent of standing up in a dinner party, tapping your glass and launching into a full sales pitch. You will not be invited back. It is the same principle, right? The key thing when you are doing any type of any type of content, any type of this sort of marketing, is it's about building relationships. Think of the know, like, and trust. You're not going straight in with a sales pitch. How many of you have seen on LinkedIn at the moment where you'll connect with somebody and the first thing you get is a sales pitch? No. You're not gonna buy from somebody in that way, because people buy from people. People buy based on relationships and emotionally connecting, and that isn't going to happen in that circumstance. Instagram, okay? This is where personality shines. So Instagram is perfect if you want to build connections and show more of your personality. It's quick, visual, and allows for creative storytelling. So reels and stories in particular are powerful tools for humanizing your brand. And I think this is the thing with when you're doing content, particularly in professional services. And I've been recently chatting to one of my clients about this. They've recently landed a professional services client, and I know from being in the legal world that there is sometimes a worry of always coming across as being ultra professional and commercial and this kind of very pristine kind of image. And in reality, actually what people want more of human. They want authenticity. They want to see your vulnerabilities. And often in professional services, they are reluctant to do that, but actually that's what's going to connect with their ideal clients. I think about the times when I had clients that came in to see me with the law firm, and I always described myself as not a stereotypical lawyer. And that is because I'm a people person. Right? And generally speaking, and I say this, no offense to you lawyers, but a lot of you lawyers are not people orientated. You are great at the academic stuff and you're incredibly smart, but when it comes to people, you cannot deal with people and emotions. Okay. And I know that, for example, I had an 87% conversion rate when I had those clients, and it was never going to be 100 because I had the honesty and integrity to say when I didn't think something was worthwhile pursuing. But that's a damn high conversion rate because I connected with people, okay? So this is where it's really important to use social media to be able to connect, right? But remember, the scroll is fast. So you need content that makes people pause, that does not, like I say, mean polished perfection. In fact, as I said, authenticity wins, right? A slightly messy story filmed in your office can connect far better than a slick but soulless video. Even now when I'm doing live, and I did a live on Monday and I had technical issues and, I wasn't really I was struggling a little bit in terms of pronouncing my words, but I still let it go up and I haven't removed it even though it froze halfway through, because it just shows authenticity, and that's the key thing, right? Okay. So use highlights to group your stories into themes, client results, behind the scenes tips, or FAQs. This creates a mini library of value for anyone landing on your profile. And of course, one of the important things is do not ignore DMs. Instagram is one of the easiest platforms for moving people from public posts to private conversations, which is often where the real business happens. And yes, scrolling reels at 2 a.m. is technically market research. At least that's what I try and tell myself. Okay, LinkedIn. So for a lot of you business owners, LinkedIn is a key one for you, right? It's definitely one of the strongest platforms. It's where decision makers, professionals, business owners spend their time. If your clients are B2B, it's often the best place to start. But posting once and disappearing will not cut it, okay? The algorithm rewards consistency and engagement. Share insights regularly, comment on others' posts, and send genuine connection requests. Think of it as a networking without the lukewarm coffee and those awkward name badges. Mix up your content. Post thought leadership to showcase your expertise, personal stories to show relatability, and even things like polls is great on LinkedIn to spark engagement. LinkedIn thrives on conversation, not just broadcasting. When done right, it positions you as the go-to person in your space. TikTok. Now, this is, believe it or not, is one of the quickest quick ones, and it's growing incredibly fast. And most people, you know, they roll their eyes, particularly business owners, when it comes to TikTok. They're not taking it seriously. They think of it as teenagers dancing, and that's just not what it is anymore, because in fact it's become a powerful search tool in its own right, with people looking for everything from tax tips to fitness advice. And here's the exciting part: you don't need a huge following to make it work. I recently landed a new client directly from TikTok. I simply post reels of useful business hints and tips, like I'm doing right now with my long form live. Nothing flashy, definitely no viral dances, and it connected with exactly the right person, which is what my content is supposed to do. And that is the beauty of TikTok. The algorithm is designed to push content to people who will find it relevant, even if you are not widely followed. One short video with the right hook can land in front of your ideal client in hours. So how do you make it work? Start with a strong hook in the first 3 seconds. Attention spans are short, remember that. Keep it simple, one problem, one solution per video. Post consistently, even if it's just a few times a week. The more you show up, the more data TikTok has to push your content to the right people. Repurpose your TikToks into Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts. One piece of content can go a long way. And if you're not experimenting with TikTok yet, you may be missing out on one of the fastest growing opportunities to get visible in front of your ideal clients. YouTube, the evergreen content that works while you sleep. YouTube is your second largest search engine in the world, and it has staying power. While TikTok and Instagram Reels move fast, YouTube videos can generate leads for years. A single video answering a common question can become a 24/7 salesperson for your business. The key is to focus on long tail keywords. So these are specific phrases people type when they are looking for solutions. Titles like how to find clients for a service-based business are far more effective than vague titles like marketing tips. Keep your introduction short, deliver the value quickly, and add a clear call to action at the end, and embed your videos on your website. This not only boosts your site's SEO, but also keeps visits on your page longer. Okay, so what is the best place to market a business? The truth is, there is no single best place. It depends entirely on your ideal client and how they like to consume information. If your clients are corporate decision makers, LinkedIn is going to be your strongest arena. If they are parents looking for local services, Facebook groups might be the winner. If you're younger and visual, Instagram or TikTok may be the sweet spot. Although, like I say, TikTok now is becoming a wider generation massively. And if they prefer in-depth advice that they can revisit, YouTube is unbeatable. But it's not just about your demographics. You need to understand behavior. Are your clients scrolling late at night for inspiration? Are they searching on Google because they already know what they want? Do they enjoy long form analysis, or do they prefer bite-sized tips? The platform you choose must match the way they actually look for answers, okay? You also need to consider your resources, okay? So YouTube can deliver long form value but requires more effort to create videos. TikTok and Instagram Reels are quicker but demand consistency. LinkedIn may take longer to build traction, but one strong post can open the right doors. The important question is not where do I want to market, but where do my clients spend their time and how do they like to buy, right? So how do you know if you're in the right place? It's so easy to waste hours posting into the void. So how do you know if you're actually in the right place? Start with these 3 questions. Are people in that space actually your ideal client? If most of the audience does not match who you want to serve, you are wasting your breath. It does not matter how good your content is if it is reaching the wrong crowd. Posting business tips on Pinterest when your clients are on LinkedIn, for example, is a complete mismatch. Question number 2, are they talking about the problems that you can solve? Look at the conversations happening. If you see people voicing the very frustrations you help with, you have found a fertile ground. If the conversations are about things unrelated to your work, you are not going to gain traction. 3rd question, are they buying from others in your field? This is the strongest indicator of all. If you can see that people are not just chatting, but actively spending money with businesses like yours, you know the platform has commercial intent. That's where you want to be. When you can answer yes to all of those 3 questions, you're not just in the right place, you're in front of the right people at the right time with the right message. That's how you find clients without exhausting yourself, okay? So clients are not hiding, right? They are in plain sight on Google, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, on YouTube and LinkedIn. They are asking questions, they are sharing frustrations, and they are searching for solutions every single day. The real question is, are you showing up where they already are? Because your clients are not hiding from you. They are waiting for you to step into the spaces that they trust. So if you are tired of wondering how to find your clients and you want the clarity on the best place to market, then the best thing we need to do is to have a conversation. And the best way to do that is through booking a business performance strategy session. You can see across the bottom of the page, there is the web address, but to make it even easier, if you just literally simply comment the word clients, I will then send you the direct link. So thank you guys for listening. I hope you've got some great value from today's live. I will see you all again next week. In the meantime, enjoy this glorious weather that we seem to have in September, which is unusual, and have a fantastic weekend. I shall see you all